Hello everyone. Welcome to MedLife series of live webinars. I am Dr. Priyanka Sachdev, and in this video I'm going to talk about a topic from general pathology, that is molecular mechanism of neoplasia. It is a difficult topic to understand, so please concentrate. Give me a second so I can start here. So here we go. So I'm taking a topic from general pathology, that is neoplasia. In this I will discuss the molecular mechanism of neoplasia and all about RAS gene. So what is neoplasia? I will start with the basic. What is neoplasia? Neoplasia means a new growth. The term neoplasia means a new growth. Neoplasia means new growth. The new growth which is produced is known as neoplasm or tumor. Now tumor are of two types, that is benign and malignant. Not all tumors are malignant. Tumor are basically of two types, benign and malignant. We know the branch of science which deals with the study of neoplasm is known as oncology. This is a cell. This is a cell. Any cell of the human body, you can say. All the cells of the human body have growth receptor on them. When growth factor is not binded, ligand is not binded with the growth receptor, no growth occurs. This cell do not do mitosis, do not do cell division, and do not form two cells from one cell. Daughter cells are not formed because growth factor is not bound with the growth receptor. But when, can you see in this diagram, when the stimulus is come, this is known as stimulus, that is growth factor. When growth factor comes and bind with the growth receptor, this cell will divide into two cells. This cell will do the mitosis. This cell will do the mitosis and two cells out of one cell are formed, that is cell division occurs because stimulus is present. This occurs normally, not in neoplasia. What happens in neoplasia, I will tell you. This happens normally. Normally, remember two facts. When no growth factor is bound with the growth receptor, no cell division, no mitosis occurs. Here, mitosis doesn't occur. Mitosis doesn't occur. But when stimulus come, that is growth factor come and bind with the growth receptor of any cell, then growth occurs, that is mitosis occurs. So here the growth is under regulation. Whenever growth should occur in the body, so growth factor comes and gives the signal, gives the stimulus that growth should occur here. And when no growth should occur, no growth factor is coming and mitosis is not occurring. So this occurs normally. So what happens in neoplasia? So this is the definition of a neoplasm. It looks complicated and difficult. So let's split it and simplify it. So what is neoplasm? It is an abnormal mass of tissue in which the growth is uncoordinated. The growth exceeds and uncoordinated and persists in the same manner even after cessation of stimuli. So it means when no growth factor is present. Normally when no growth factor was present, mitosis was not occurring. Here when no growth is present, still mitosis occurs and this cell is dividing and forming two cells. These two cells further forming two more cells, so four cells are formed. From this 4, 8, 8 to 16, 16 to 32 likewise. Growth occurs. So a mass of cells are formed. Still no growth factor is present. So growth is uncoordinated, unregulated. Growth exceeds. That is, growth is occurring even in absence of stimuli. No stimuli, no growth factor is present. Still growth is occurring. So this happens in neoplasia. Why it happens, I will tell you. What happens to the genes, what mutation occurs exactly. So why it is happening, I will tell you. But just understand the basic. So the definition of neoplasm is very simple. It is an abnormal mass of cells, abnormal mass of tissue, the growth of which exceeds and uncoordinated. The growth is uncoordinated. And the most important thing here is the growth occurs in the same manner even in absence of growth factor. The growth factor, that is stimuli. Stimuli is absent, still mitosis is going to occur. So that is the definition of neoplasm, and ultimately a bunch of cells, a bunch of cells is formed which forms a mass of tissue which is known as neoplasm, and this is occurring in absence of stimuli. Correct. So a mass is formed anywhere in the body. It can occur in the oral cavity, it can occur in the uterus, it can occur from head to toe, anywhere in the body. So we can say neoplastic cells lose control and regulation over replication and forms an abnormal mass of tissue. That is known as neoplasm. So that was a definition of neoplasm. Now I will tell you the molecular mechanism. What happens exactly? Why the cell which doesn't receive any stimuli, still do mitosis. What happens exactly? Why it is happening? Normally, when no stimulus is present, no growth occurs, now. But still here growth is occurring. So there should be something in the genes. There should be mutation. So look at this cell. I have told you in this cell you can see the growth receptor, but no growth factor is binding with the growth receptor. No stimulus is present. So here no growth is occurring. For explaining this, I have to explain you the genes. There are 4 types of genes in human cell. All humans cells contain 4 types of genes: proto-oncogenes, tumor suppressor genes, also known as anti-oncogenes, apoptosis regulating genes, and DNA repair genes. So out of these 4 genes, in this lecture, I will explain you the first 2 genes, that is proto-oncogenes and tumor suppressor genes. Proto-oncogenes and tumor suppressor genes. Tumor suppressor genes are also known as anti-oncogenes. So proto-oncogenes and anti-oncogenes. What are these 2 cells? Just understand. Look at this diagram. Everyone please concentrate. Look at this diagram. Look at the first cell and the second cell. This is the first cell. This is the second cell. In the first cell, can you see there is a growth receptor, red colored growth receptor present on the cell surface, and a purple color growth factor is coming and binding with this growth receptor. So I have told you, when growth factor is coming and binding with the growth receptor, this cell will do mitosis and divides into 2 cells. Mitosis occurs here, and 2 cells are formed. But how it occurs? When growth factor is binding with the growth receptor, in the nucleus of this cell, a gene which is known as proto-oncogene gets stimulated. A gene is present in the nucleus of all human cells. All humans contains this cell, this is a normal cell. It is known as proto-oncogene. So whenever growth factor is coming and binding with the growth receptor, in the nucleus of that cell, a gene which is known as proto-oncogene gets stimulated. Now, if a gene gets stimulated, what happens? It forms with the help of transcription and translation, gene express itself. So mRNA will be formed and protein will be formed. From this gene, mRNA will be formed and protein will be formed, and that protein causes cell division. So whenever growth factor is coming, mitosis is occurring with the help of that protein, which is formed with the help of proto-oncogene. So this is occurring actually normally. Look at the second cell in this diagram. Can you see this cell? Look at the second cell in this diagram. In this cell, on the cell surface, you can see the growth receptor, red colored growth receptor, but no growth factor is there. Growth factor, stimulus is absent here. Growth factor is absent here. So in this cell, in the nucleus of this cell, another gene which is known as tumor suppressor gene gets stimulated. It is also present in all normal human cells. Tumor suppressor gene gets stimulated, and once the gene gets stimulated, with the help of transcription and translation, gene express itself. So mRNA will be formed from this gene, and from mRNA protein will be formed from this gene, and that protein will stop the mitosis. In this cell, mitosis won't occur. 2 cells won't form. From this cell, don't do mitosis and don't do cell division. Mitosis doesn't occur. With the help of that protein is formed with the help of tumor suppressor gene. So when growth factor is present, proto-oncogenes get stimulated and they do cell division. When growth factor is absent, tumor suppressor genes get stimulated and they stop cell division. So they promote cell division, and they stop cell division. Proto-oncogenes promote cell division, tumor suppressor genes stop cell division. And these 2 genes are normally present in all human cells from head to toe. All human cells contain these 2 genes in their nucleus. So whenever body requires cell division, proto-oncogenes get stimulated and cell division occurs at that part. Whenever body do not require cell division, tumor suppressor genes get. To understand it more clearly, just take an example. If you are driving a car or any vehicle, there are 2 things in any vehicle or a car. There is an accelerator and there is a brake. Whenever you want to increase the speed, you use accelerator, and whenever you want to decrease the speed, you apply brake. So a balance of 2 will give you a regulated speed. So in this, the proto-oncogenes are like accelerators. They are like accelerators in the car. And tumor suppressor genes are like brakes. They are like brakes in the car. So normally, Whenever speed has to be increased, cell division has to occur, body applies accelerator. And whenever speed has to be decreased, cell division has to be stopped, body applies brake. So human body is doing a balance between the two. So no neoplasia is occurring. Whenever growth requires, it occurs. Whenever growth doesn't require, it doesn't occur. But what happens in your car if two situations occurs? Either of the two situations occur. Either your brakes fail, either the brake of your car fail, or your accelerator gets stuck at the highest race. You can't decrease accelerator. Either of the two or both of them occurs together. What happens? What will happen? Just imagine your brakes fail and accelerator gets stuck at the highest race. So a blast will occur, speed will be increased unregulatedly. Unregulated speed will be there, very high speed will be there, and an accident or a blast will be there. So that is happening in this body. In human body also the same thing is happening. Either the accelerator gets stuck at the highest speed, that is these proto-oncogenes. These proto-oncogenes get mutated, mutation occur, and they get overstimulated. They get overstimulated. Or these tumor suppressor genes get mutated and they get understimulated. Mutations are of two types. You have studied in this topic in genetics now, gain mutation or loss mutation. If a mutation occurs in some gene, the function of that gene can be increased, that is known as gain mutation, or the function of that gene can be decreased, that is known as loss mutation. So here in proto-oncogene, gain mutation is occurring, that is their function is increasing abnormally. And in tumor suppressor gene, there is loss mutation, that is they are underactivated. So either of the two or both together can also occur. So that will lead to neoplasia. That will lead to unregulated mitosis. Now, if the proto-oncogenes get overstimulated, they will do unregulated cell division. If tumor suppressor gene that has to stop the cell division, they won't work, they won't stop. So on the one hand, proto-oncogene, they are causing abnormal cell division. And on the other hand, tumor suppressor gene, they are not stopping cell division. So both of these together will lead to neoplasia. So in neoplasia, two things are occurring, either of the two or two together. That is proto-oncogene overactivation and tumor suppressor gene underactivation, inactivation. So two things occurs. I hope I'm able to make you understand what is exactly happening in the on the molecular basis in neoplasia. So can you see, this is a cell, this is a normal cell, this is the nucleus of the cell. Inside the cell there is nucleus, inside the nucleus there is DNA. On the DNA genes are present. Now either of the two genes, either the proto-oncogenes get overstimulated or anti-oncogenes, that is tumor suppressor genes, they get underactivated, inactivated. Either of the two occurs. So this cell will divide abnormally. Abnormal mitosis occurs in this cell. And a bunch of cells, a mass of cells is formed, which leads to a mass of tissue that is known as neoplasia. So you got it? So there are two things. There are two types of mutations inside the nucleus, inside the DNA of human cell. That is overactivation of proto-oncogene and inactivation of tumor suppressor gene. So in this lecture, I'm going to cover only proto-oncogene. Tumor suppressor gene, I will cover in the next lecture. So what are proto-oncogenes? If in your exams you get a question, write a short note on proto-oncogene, what you are going to write. So proto-oncogenes. So proto-oncogenes were discovered by Harold Vermus and Michael Bishop. These are the normal genes. These are the genes which are required for cell division. They promote cell division. They do cell division, but in presence of stimuli. Whenever growth factor, by stimuli I mean growth factor. Whenever growth factor is present, you can see in this diagram. Can you see a purple colored growth factor is present, which is binding with the growth receptor? Whenever growth factor is present, then only they cause cell division. They cause mitosis and two cells are formed from this one cell. These are proto-oncogenes. These are present inside the nucleus. These are proto-oncogenes. These are normal cells. But what happens if they get mutated? If they get mutated, these are not known as proto-oncogenes. Then they will be known as oncogenes. So oncogenes are the mutated genes of proto-oncogenes. When proto-oncogenes get mutated, they form oncogenes. These oncogenes have only one difference from proto-oncogene. They can work without stimulus. When no growth factor is present, still they can do mitosis. Proto-oncogenes can do mitosis only when growth factor is present. Look at this diagram. No growth factor is present. But here, the proto-oncogene is mutated, already mutated. It is overactivated. That is, the mutation is gain mutation. That is overactivated. So proto-oncogene is mutated and formed a mutated product, mutated gene, which is known as oncogene. This is the mutation of proto-oncogene. Now still that works even in absence of growth factor. No growth factor is present in this cell. Still, with the help of transcription and translation, it will form such a product which will cause cell division. So mitosis occurs here. So that is known as oncogene. So can I say oncogene and proto-oncogene are one and the same thing? Oncogenes are present in normal humans. It is present in you, it is present in me, it is present in all normal humans. And when they get mutated, neoplasia, tumor occurs in the human. And that is known as oncogene. Oncogene is the mutated product of proto-oncogene. Correct? In normal cell, it is proto-oncogene, while in cancer cell, it is known as oncogene. So you got it. And oncogene, with the help of transcription and translation, form a product, form protein, which is known as oncoprotein. And that oncoprotein is causing mitosis. I have already told you. Look at the cell, no growth factor is present. And here, look at the nucleus of the cell. The gene is mutated. Proto-oncogene is mutated and forms oncogene. So even in absence of growth factor, it will do mitosis. With the help of transcription and translation, it will form a protein, and that protein will do the mitosis. That protein is known as oncoprotein. So can I say, first there was proto-oncogene that was working under stimulus. When growth factor is present, it was working. It get mutated, and with the help of that mutation, oncogene is formed. It is working without stimulus. Even no growth factor is present, it is working. It is doing mitosis. And from this oncogene, with the help of transcription and translation, a protein is formed, which is known as oncoprotein. And this oncoprotein is causing mitosis, even in absence of stimulus. Correct? What is this mutation? How many types of mutation you know? Which mutation is occurring here to convert proto-oncogene to oncogene? Can you name some of the mutation? Either the point mutation, or the chromosomal translocation, or gene amplification. Either of the three mutation is occurring. Either it can be a point mutation, it can be a chromosomal translocation, and it can be gene amplification. Of these three, chromosomal translocation is the most common mutation which occurs in proto-oncogene and converts them into oncogene. I will give you example of all these three. I will give you the example of all these three. Point mutation, translocation, and amplification. These are three types of mutation which can occur and convert proto-oncogene into oncogene. These are gain mutation. Out of these three, translocation are the most common mutations which occur in proto-oncogene. Now the classification. That was the definition of proto-oncogene. What are proto-oncogenes? How they get converted into oncogenes, and from oncogenes, how oncoproteins are formed. What are the type of mutations? Which is the most common type of mutation? That was about introduction and definition. Now what is the classification of proto-oncogene? This is the classification. There are 5 classes. I won't read the whole classification. There are 5 classes of proto-oncogene. Out of these, the most important and most common proto-oncogene which get mutated is RAS. I will discuss RAS in this lecture. So the most common, I'm not saying the most gene which get mutated. The most common gene which get mutated in humans is P53, which is a tumor suppressor gene, which I will discuss later on. But among the proto-oncogenes, these are all proto-oncogenes. Can you see? These are the name of the genes which are written in front of you. They are divided into 5 classes. Among these, the most common proto-oncogene which get mutated and causes cancers in human is RAS. That is most common. So I will discuss RAS in this lecture. And after that, I will discuss this, ABL and TCR. So RAS gene. So coming on the RAS gene, it is very interesting. Please concentrate. So RAS is a type of proto-oncogene. Rather, I must say it is the most common abnormality or mutated proto-oncogene in human beings. So what happens normally? I will discuss 2 situations. What happens normally? I'm a normal person. I don't have neoplasia. So what is happening inside me? And once if it get mutated, how it causes cancer. So I will discuss 2 situations. One is normal situation, other is mutation. So first, let's discuss normal. What happens normally? How this RAS gene is working normally. And then I will discuss what will happen if this RAS gene get mutated. If it get mutated and get overstimulated, how does it causes cancer? So first discuss normally. So can you see this is a cell, the blue color cell. This is a cell, the blue color cell. On the blue color cell, the cell surface contain a red colored growth receptor. This is a growth receptor of red color. Can you see here? This is growth receptor. This is growth receptor present on the cell surface. On the near growth receptor, there is RAS protein with green, with the help of green color. I have shown it. This is RAS. This is RAS. This is inactive RAS. It is present on the cell surface near growth receptor. On the cell membrane, it is present. This is inactive RAS because it is bound with GDP. GDP is guanine diphosphate. GDP. Since it is bound with GDP, it is inactive. Now, what is happening? This is inactive RAS. Currently, no growth factor is present. When growth factor will come and bind with the growth receptor, then this inactive RAS get converted into active. Let's see in the next diagram. Can you see in this diagram? This is growth factor. This is growth factor binding with the growth receptor. Can you see? Growth receptor is present. Growth factor is coming. That is stimulus. Stimulus is coming and binding with the receptor. So this inactive RAS is getting converted into active RAS. Can you see? This inactive RAS, this GDP is getting replaced with GTP. Guanine diphosphate getting converted into guanine triphosphate. So inactive RAS is getting converted into active RAS. When growth factor is coming, binding with the growth receptor, inactive RAS get converted into active RAS by replacing GDP with GTP. This active RAS comes in the cytoplasm. Now this active RAS is coming in the cytoplasm. This is active RAS. It leaves the cell membrane, it will come in the cytoplasm, and in the cytoplasm, it will start multiple pathways. If you can learn the name of that pathways, it's good. If you can't, then it's also okay. It runs multiple pathways. It is known as RAF pathway, MAPK pathway, PI3K pathway. All these pathway will lead to cell division. So it is causing cell division. So when growth factor is coming, binding with the growth receptor, GDP in the RAS get replaced with GTP. So inactive RAS gets converted into active RAS. This active RAS will come in the cytoplasm. In the cytoplasm, it will run multiple pathways. Some of the pathways are PI3K pathway, RAF pathway, MAPK pathway. All these pathways will lead to cell division, and this cell will divide, do the mitosis, and it will form two cells out of one cell. But once the cell division occurs, this is not permanent. Now it can't be permanent. It can't be always. These two cells also form another four cells. That four will form another 8. That is not like that. It is only once. One growth factor causes one cell division. This growth factor is coming and binding. So it will cause one. So once cell division occur, now the need is to convert this active RAS again into inactive RAS. You don't want another cell division from this cell. You want one growth factor is coming, it causes cell division only once, not once again. So you want this active RAS to get converted again into inactive RAS. For this, in the cytoplasm, a protein is present which is known as GTPase activating protein. What is the full form of GAP? GTPase. GTPase. It is an enzyme, GTPase, which will split GTP. GTPase activating protein, that is GAP. In the cytoplasm, once the cell division occurs, GAP will stimulate it, and GAP will split GTP into GDP. GTP will, the name itself indicates GTPase. It will split GTP into GDP. So once GTP get converted into GDP, active RAS get converted into inactive RAS again. Active RAS gets converted into inactive RAS again, and no further cell division occurs. So cell division occurs only once. Now, if you want this cell to do cell division once again, bring another growth factor. If another growth factor will come, the same sequence will follow. So one growth factor causes one cell division. One growth factor causes activation of RAS transiently. It is transient activation. Once it causes cell division, again it gets inactivated. So the growth is regulated. This occurs normally. Now let's come on the second situation, that what happens in mutation. Can you see this diagram? This is from Robbins and Cotran. This is the standard diagram. That was a line diagram to explain you in simplified way. This is the original diagram. Can you see a blue colored cell membrane in this? Can you see? This is a cell membrane behind. Can you see the red color growth receptor? And a growth factor is coming and binding on this growth receptor. Once the growth factor is binding, this is inactive RAS. Can you see this is bound with GDP? Inactive RAS is bound with GDP. Once the growth factor is coming, it is activated, and this is getting converted into active RAS. GDP is getting replaced with GTP, and inactive RAS is forming active RAS. This active RAS is coming in the cytoplasm. Can you see? It is coming in the cytoplasm. It is running multiple pathway, RAF, MAP pathway, PI3K pathway, AKT pathway. There are multiple pathways. All these pathways will lead to cell division. But once cell division occurs, gap. Can you see gap in this diagram? Gap gets stimulated and it split GDP into GTP. So active RAS gets converted into active RAS. Okay, so that was a diagram. But what happens in the second situation, that is mutation? What happens in this? In mutation, what is the difference? Now let's see. The first diagram is same. There is a cell, buccal cell. Can you see growth receptor? And with near the growth receptor, there is inactive RAS bound to the cell membrane. Now, when growth factor comes bound with the growth receptor, GDP get replaced with GTP, inactive RAS is forming active RAS. This is same as that of previous one. We will see where is the difference. This active RAS will come in the cytoplasm as the previous case. It is starting multiple pathways, you know, and it is causing cell division. Till here, it is same. It is causing cell division. But what was happening in the last situation normally? What was happening? Once the cell division occurs, a protein which is known as GAP gets stimulated inside the cytoplasm to convert this active RAS into inactive RAS. A GAP named protein gets stimulated with split GTP into GTP. So active RAS get converted into inactive RAS and no further cell. Here, no gap is present. Gap is mutated. Gap is not working here. That's how RAS will become overactivated. Gap is not working here. So active RAS is not converting into inactive RAS. So RAS is activated permanently. One growth factor can activate the RAS permanently. There, one growth factor was activating the RAS, but that was transiently, causing one cell division. Again, it was getting inactivated. But here, one growth factor is coming and causing activation of RAS. But since there is no gap, it can't be inactivated again. So it is activated permanently. So it will cause cell division permanently. It will form a bunch of cells. That is neoplasia. Here gap is not working. So RAS is get activated permanently. GTP can't be splitted into GDP. So that is happening in mutation and that is causing cancer in many persons. That is the mutation of RAS. So I have explained you the two situations diagrammatically. Now how you can write the two situations in your exams, in your theory exams. So normally, the normal situation you can show in a flow chart. So the inactive RAS, just a second. So there is inactive RAS. Inactive RAS is bound with GDP. Now when growth factor comes, this GDP get replaced with GTP and RAS become activated. This activated RAS stimulate many pathway, RAF pathway, MAPK pathway, and PI3K pathway. All these pathway will lead to mitosis. But once mitosis occurs in the cytoplasm, a protein which is known as GAP gets stimulated. GTP is activating protein gets stimulated. It will cause stimulation of GTPase enzyme. GTPase enzyme will break GTP into GDP and RAS will come again in inactive state. That is, activated RAS was transient, not permanent. But what happens in mutation? Draw a flowchart for mutation also. In your exams, try to make flowcharts, diagrams clearly, so you will get good marks. So once the RAS get mutated, gap won't function. Gap won't function. Gap won't function, so GTPase won't function. So GTPase won't function, so GTP will not be broken down into GDP. So RAS will be activated permanently. So it will lead to uncontrolled mitosis, permanent mitosis, more mitosis, and it will lead to a mass of tissue that is known as neoplasia or cancer. So I hope I have explained you. These are the examples of cancer. Which cancers occur with the mutation of RAS? If RAS in a person, if any person, RAS get mutated, then which cancer occurs in that person? There are three types of RAS: KRAS, NRAS, HRAS. If KRAS get mutated, then colon, lung, and pancreatic cancer occurs. NRAS get mutated, melanoma and blood tumors, especially AML occurs. And if HRAS get mutated, then bladder cancer and kidney cancers occur. So these are the examples. So in this lecture, I have covered RAS. Just a second. So I hope you understand it and you enjoyed the lecture, you got the concept. And if you like it, just subscribe my channel so you will get further notification for further video lectures. And you can also join my Telegram channel and Facebook page. The links are given in the description. Okay, bye-bye. See you.